In my last video, I talked about helping this RGX A2 with its stock cheap pickups to sound better through the HX Stomp. This time, we'll be looking at the Helix platform that has much more processing power and a new effect from the 3.10 firmware to help us even further coming up. Budget gear that doesn't hurt the pocket while sounding great. That's the dream, isn't it? But that doesn't happen all the time, and when we get something that's lackluster, it might be tempting to throw it out straight away. Hold up, let's not be too hasty. We have the tools to help make the guitar sound better. Watch my previous video here to be caught up on my subtractive EQ process that helped this A2 sound more musical. In continuation from that video, I'd like to introduce a tool that I found very helpful to sweeten the tone of the A2, the new retro reel effect that came with firmware 3.1. Online chatter hails this as the Strymon Deco of the Helix. I can't comment on its modeling accuracy since I don't own one. However, I do love what it does to the tone, especially in helping smooth the EQ out. Remember, the name of the game is to either cut the frequencies that are hurtful to the ear or smoothen them out so that they are more bearable. I think there's a big difference when using the retro reel. From here on, I'd recommend you put on a pair of headphones to make out the subtle differences in tone. Viewer beware. Here's my process in using the retro reel as a tone sweetener. Step 1. Place this near the end of the signal train in stereo. For what I know of Strymon Deco users, some use the Deco as a modulation with the flutter control, or even as an overdrive effect with the saturation control when placed in front of an amp. This is not our intended use case. The retro reel's tone shaping capabilities are only going to be functional when we approach it like in post-processing. On my patches, I place these before the reverb so that they don't get too dark from the retro reel's onboard EQ. This leads us into step 2. Apply the low cut and high cut EQ on the retro reel to taste. From what I can hear, there's something different about these low and high cuts. It's not as clean as those found on the parametric EQ. Maybe they're sloped differently, maybe there's a bit of that tape character to them, I'm not sure. But what I do know is that the high cut control is especially useful to tame the high frequencies of this A2. Even setting it at 19 kHz, which is close to the limit of human hearing and shouldn't be noticeable, I found that there's a pleasant roll-off. On my A2, I set this to 16 kHz, but feel free to adjust this to taste, as some guitars may sound overly dark at this setting. Once you're satisfied with how the EQ is shaped, go on to optional step 3. Adjust the gain to match your bypassed tone. This is going to be an interplay between the saturation, texture, and level controls. Saturation and texture are linked together, with texture only really having a pronounced effect when the saturation is turned up. For our purpose, we don't want them to be turned up too much at all. I found that the body of sound coming from this A2 benefited from a mild setting. Once satisfied with these two controls, dial the level to taste. I recommend turning down the level to the unity gain with your bypass tone so that the retro reel isn't acting like a boost, but you could totally configure it to run that way, especially with snapshots. Caveat emptor. Just because we have this tool doesn't mean we have to use it all the time. If your guitar's top end is already mild to begin with, turning on the retro reel will make it even darker. You may also want to leave this off when you're down tuning, as the top end is what makes a 7-string sound bristle with energy. Ultimately, use your ears to guide your EQ decisions and you'll find the settings that are just right for your guitar. If you've stuck around this long, welcome to today's bonus section. While I'd encourage you to dial in the tones yourself, I understand that not everyone has the time, the patience, or the ears to do so. That's why I've made this patch pack available for download at my Buy Me a Coffee page. The pack will contain 4 patches, the main Mando Lit patch that's featured today, as well as the patch I've used for the 7-string sound called MandoRock. Question of the day: how do you treat the tone of your cheaper guitars that need help? I'd love to hear your ideas and thoughts in the comment section below. That's it from me. Thank you for watching this video. Please consider subscribing, hitting that bell notification button, and treating me to a coffee to support these videos and my ministry. Feel free to share the video with someone whom you know is interested in tweaking tones for budget guitars. Until next time, I'm Justin, and I'm all about worship guitar.